So here is the update for the week ending January 16th. Really only had one meeting here. These budget and finance meetings are like really all one meeting. They do kind of, it feels more like two meetings. There's three on the schedule here, but this one goes quick, and I don't know how exactly it works, but I just wrapped this up into one meeting. The Board of Zoning didn't appear to meet. This all ran past 6:30, or around 6:30. So let's go ahead and look at the notes for this week, which are available on the website here, ethanpost.github.io/Hickman-County-Tennessee. Go there, you'll find all the meetings. You'll find a full audio link, which goes to YouTube channel and has full audio for this meeting. If you want the transcript, and get it right here off file. So there you have it. Let's go back to the notes. The beer board met first, and they postponed a vote to next month. Looks like we might be getting maybe a liquor store. If I've got this right, I looked in the paper. It's going to be here on the south side of town as you go out Highway 50. I believe it is the owners of the convenience store here have put this building up or bought it or what have you, but it looks like it's going to be potentially a liquor store going in right here. So if you have any feelings on that, you probably need to show up at the next meeting and express those feelings. They have to have people in person at the meeting. You're required to be at the meeting if you have anything if you want to dissent on this for any reason. I guess there are a couple people that are not happy about it. They did not show up to the meeting to talk about it. So next month will be their last chance. So that's what's going on there. That wrapped up, and most of the same people basically go to the Budget, Finance, Human Resources Committee meeting. I spoke at the public comment, just saying that I think that the opioid funds should go towards the CPR devices and the cardiac monitors. Very expensive. I think we should use most of the funds for that. Later in the meeting, it seems that they feel that they can only get away with maybe buying one of those. I would stretch that to two at least. And I think we could probably justify more, but two would be a really good thing, I think. So I'm going to be pushing for two. I'll get into that, I guess. And I did recommend that they avoid hiring a navigator. I don't think that's going to go through based on what we saw. There were a bunch of little budget amendments. Nothing too impressive here. And then they talked about county. I guess the county's been working on if people leave the county that are employed by the county, come back to work for the county, they lose their seniority basically if they leave more than a year. For most departments, there's a couple exceptions. The schools and highway department are two exceptions. So if you leave over a year there and come back, you still get your seniority. So that was something that all the department heads were there. They seem to agree on, and they've been hashing that out. Something about a Centerville grant. I don't know the details on this. This looks like it was for infrastructure. The county basically gave it to Centerville. They're working on the engineering work for extending water service in District 7 communities. And I think the grant is only going to play for maybe the planning and stuff. And then there's going to be future grants in which they're going to try to do the work. So I don't have the map in front of me, but I'd have to look and see where District 7 was. So this is kind of a new thing. Didn't know much about this. They're looking for an update in August of 2025 from the city, I think. Here was one of the more interesting things. So your taxes are definitely going to be going up. I think this proposal goes before the commissioners in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and I will put the plan that I've got a copy of online. Hopefully sometime this weekend, I'll get that posted and send it out. This is the 4-year reappraisal plan for Hickman County for tax year 2030. So everybody's taxes should be increased by 2030. Now, maybe they're decrease, but if you're like me, you kind of doubt it. As we know, we've had a big influx of, we've seen properties purchased out here for people in very well-to-do areas, Brentwood, Franklin, California, other states. People sold out in states like Minnesota, and bought property here. Of course, that has driven the value of the property up. And I won't get into my thoughts on property taxes and whether they're just or unjust, whether they're appropriate or whether they to only be increased when properties sell, transfer. But I don't like the idea of that. But it looks like we're all going to be paying more taxes. They've got a pretty aggressive plan here to make sure that they're getting out, inspecting properties, looking for improvements, doing aerial views of your properties, etc. They're going to be looking closely. And I think the response for us citizens should be, we should be looking closely at what the resources are being spent on and how effective they are and how efficient they are. I'm definitely going to be at that next commissioner meeting if I'm able to, and be speaking, have some thoughts on this. I would encourage some other people to come out and talk about property taxes and some of the issues surrounding that. So let's go on to cardiac monitors. This was just basically the discussion about the cost, $550,000 for 7 cardiac monitors and 7 CPR devices. I do feel like the CPR devices are upgrades to what we have, and if you've never done CPR, it's very physically intense. It's very demanding on the people doing CPR, very demanding on the EMS crews, and we want good EMS people working in the county. We don't necessarily pay as competitively as other counties, so making their work environment better is something that's going to benefit us all. So those are definitely important. It sounds like they got to go to the state. Anything that's kind of off budget sounds like they have to go to the state for kind of approval. I think they're going to go to their state, but they'll probably have to go back. So we'll probably end up buying a few of these ourselves, and then we'll end up leasing the remainder, so that we'll get that $100,000 a year payment down, and or whatever it is, and we'll probably lease. Hopefully, we can buy like 2 or 3 and then lease the remainder. I would be more for improving the stuff on the main trucks and not necessarily worrying about the other vehicles at this time, and doing that in future years. But as more grant money comes in from other area, but they're trying to use opioid grant and maybe looking at using the health grant. So I'm basically in approval of this, and one of the commissioners came up with the idea of, hey, can we buy some and lease some and get, and I thought that was a good idea. So opioid settlement funding, basically they were looking for that navigator position. That is not going to go forward. Basically the idea is, hey, you're going to have to figure out how to give the money away without having to hire someone to give money away. Again, I would think this needs to go towards our EMS service, and I would do everything I can to justify that and make sure it's as rock solid as possible, so the state can't come back and try to claw back that money from us. So that would be what I would do there, or spread it out over a few years and get those new devices in rotation, but maybe not all at once. And talked about the budget schedule. Commissioner Nash spoke about our taxes, and I think he made some good points. We compare ourselves on a per capita basis to other counties, surrounding counties. Our property tax per person is lower, but I think we should also look at income. Not much sense in comparing ourselves to Williamson County because they make a lot more money, and some other counties. But you see Lewis County is a lot lower than us. So, I think we need to spin this into, let's be one of the lowest tax counties in all of Tennessee, and let's compete against these other counties to remain some of the lowest tax counties. Now, I don't think with the current property assessment, I would like to see, in fact, maybe I'll mention this at the meeting coming up. I would like to see what is this number going to be in 2030? What's the projected number? It's going to be higher. So that is they did also talk about something called indexing. I didn't get the details on that in terms of property taxes, but that will allow them to raise it in year 2. I'm going to have to pause this. Let's see. Well, I can't pause it because I don't. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So that's something you want to look at. Basically, they're going to look at. They've divided the map of Hickman County into 300 neighborhoods. They're going to look at sales in your neighborhood, and they're going to use that sale. So if it's assessed at say $100,000 and it sold for 150, that's going to be 50% higher than what they thought. So I think, from my understanding, they're going to be able to take everybody in that neighborhood and assume that they're also assessed 50% lower. So you're going to want to be careful to track sales in your neighborhood, figure out what your neighborhood is and track sales, and make sure you can go back and justify, how that sale was necessarily irrelevant. So you want to know the details of the sales going on around you is my point, especially if you're going to contest any increases in your property tax. So there were a lot of other things. Debt per person. We have lower debt than most counties. These are all good things. Let's stay that way. That's the message I think we need to send back. Let's stay that way. I'll be also hopefully mentioning something about this at the next meeting because I like this, but I want to turn it into let's stay that way. And also the fact that we need to look just as deeply and diligently into the efficiency of our county government if they're going to be looking so diligently into the value of our properties. It's a two-way street, right? Anyway, that is all there. I want to go to, I did wait, even though there was only one meeting this week, I did wait until this Friday because I wanted to get the paper and see if anything is important in there. I'd say one of the most important things was it's got a list of people that are going to be running for county commissioner, school board, and constable and mayor. And so we want to start doing some research and finding out what we can find out about these folks, the ones that we don't know, of course. And so if you find anything out about these people, if you have any strong recommends or strong not recommends, please send that information to me. And I just would like to be on top of this election early and have some idea of how which candidates here could actually maybe move the needle a little bit in the right direction for our county. There's also a lot of controversy around voting, and I was a little surprised to find out that the salary of the the voting commissioner is $90,000 a year. I don't think it's necessarily absurd, but I don't know. I am curious how they come up with that. There are quite a few people that are eager to get into that position. I would like to know more about the salary benefits and things like that. I don't know if that's set by the state or something we decided as a county. I can't find it in here, but it's in here. So if you want to go out and read the paper, it's available online at mainstreetmediatn.com, and you can find that. So that's in there. That was interesting to me. I do recall, it's been quite a few years now, but the county was looking to hire someone in IT and was just aghast that they would have to pay over $70,000 a year for that position. And I was thinking, boy, that's kind of like, a pretty low salary for a very experienced, IT manager that is familiar with all aspects of running IT department. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. This is all online, and hopefully this will keep you up to date. Next week is pretty light week. I don't think I'm going to go to the Friends of Buford P. McCord Memorial Park meeting, but maybe we'll catch up on some of the other stuff, and I'll hopefully get some emails out to folks and get some more information. And we have a county commissioner meeting, Health Foundation and county commissioner meeting on the 26th. So we'll be trying to get to those. All right. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate it. And we'll have some more updates out at the end of next week, hopefully.